Professionals and Coffee, a volunteer collective that builds the professional profiles of public relations practitioners through virtual coffee chats. My name is Carolina Salinas, and I'm the founder and project manager of Professionals and Coffee. And today I'm so excited to have Smita Devane-Bhan, Head of Communications at EMD Serono, and as our interviewer of Professionals and Coffee, Aja Prashar, an international student from the Content Strategy program of Humber College. Welcome both of you to Professionals and Coffee, and I will now turn over the microphone. It is all yours, Aja.
Thank you so much, Carolina. I would like to introduce Smita with a brief bio. So Smita is the head of communications at EMD Serono. She joined EMD in June 2018 as the communications manager and now leads the Canadian communications of the company. Smita has become a trusted team member who has successfully delivered and executed on critical initiatives and commercial communications planning. As the head of communications, Smita is responsible for corporate, internal, and external communications and is a part of the Canadian leadership team as well. Smita brings more than 15 years of communications experience from a variety of different areas that include third-party payers, not-for-profit, and client-focused industries where she led stakeholder relations, developing and executing communication plans and issues management. Smita holds a postgraduate certificate in corporate communications and has completed training in Lean Six Sigma and as an agile product owner. Prior to becoming a professional communicator, Smita was a research assistant at both the University of Western Ontario and the National Network for Mental Health with an undergraduate thesis published by the Society of Neuroscience. Thank you so much, Smita, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, both of you.
That's great. So I'm now going to start with the interview. My first question for you would be, what interests you most about the PR in the communication industry?
The part of PR and communications that I absolutely love and something that I didn't realize until I really got into the field was the diversity. Every single day of PR and communications is different. And from one day to the next, you try to plan out what's going to happen, but you can't. And I find that for myself, I find that exciting. Other people may get a little scared about that, but that keeps my interest within the field. And then the other component that I find really interesting, I know you only asked me for one, is that we have the ability to have exposure to so many different types of fields. You come in as a communicator or a public relations professional having those skills, but you're applying those skills to so many different industries. And I'm constantly learning in this role.
I truly resonate with that. I myself agree because, each day is a new task. It's a new, the roles and responsibilities that are so much diverse than what's listed in the actual job description. So it's really exciting. I completely agree. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question would be, how do you think you have evolved working in the field of PR and communications?
I think as someone who's seasoned now, I guess I can say I'm seasoned. Our industry has changed quite a lot from the time where I went to school and did a postgraduate certificate compared to what really happens today. Previously, it was set that news release, get it out, see what media picks up. And I think with the society of where we live in right now, we're almost in a situation where people want news and information immediately. So I had to learn how to be quicker, more agile, and learn a lot of the digital components. So yes, I'm older than both of you too. I had digital exposure when I was younger. I'm not that old, but I wasn't born with it. So something I had to evolve is my skills on the digital front. And that's a continual evolution, because it's constantly changing.
People really don't think that. People always think that PR is just, those fancy PR shows and events, but it is much more than that. And you really need to know the in and out of it to be really into it. And I completely agree with that. So yeah, thanks for the answer. My third question would be, so seeing your professional background, you have worked in very different and diverse roles. How challenging was it for you to shift each genre and then land into this science field maybe? Yeah.
So something that's part of my makeup is I enjoy challenges. I think if things were the same every single day, if I, as an individual, was not getting challenged, I would not excel in what I'm doing. So shifting gears, while there are some kind of road bumps that happen, the fact that you have been trained as a communications professional, and you know how to be transparent, you know how to write clearly, communicate properly, get those key messages out, those items never change across whatever industry you're in. And if you are surrounded by a great network of colleagues who are willing to help and willing to support you to learn, that is fundamental and instrumental into being successful. So the key on those ones is ask those questions. It's okay as someone coming into a new industry in a new field, the fact that you don't know everything, but you should know more on the PR side. So when someone comes to you saying, hey, what should I do if I'm in this, and this situation? You can easily provide the advice from a communications perspective.
I completely agree on that as well. And the part where you said that always ask questions. In the field of communications, you can never sit in one corner, right? You need to come up in the front and ask, be curious always. So yeah, that's completely, wonderful. So my next question for you would be what do you think are the new media trends in the healthcare center?
I'm not sure it would be specific to healthcare, but I think it goes back to my other comment earlier about media in general. I think it comes back to social media. As a younger generations, you guys are coming out of school with this ability of knowing social, and it's almost innate for you. And I think your learnings and your ability and to understand what audiences of your generation want and need is a huge asset that you can bring into an organization where some organizations may not have that experience, especially if you're looking at someone who's been in the field for 15 years. 15 years ago, I wasn't on Snapchat or TikTok. Snapchat's not even there anymore. TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
So I think that's something as a younger generation, the group can really excel in bringing new innovative ideas to businesses, to agencies in order to communicate clearly and get messages across in a fast, effective manner.
Yeah, totally agree that keeping your touch with the new trends that are in the market, not just with one field like the healthcare field, but all of the fields that exist is really important. So yeah,
it is. And then no problem. No, and the other trends are, I think you need to be open. Things are constantly evolving. They're changing. Something that may have worked previously, even maybe a couple of weeks ago, or on a campaign that you did a couple of months ago, may not work now. Just because the audience are changing, our landscape is changing, and all those things have influences on how people pull and digest information.
Yeah, true. Completely agree. Thank you for your answer. I guess this will really help when people hear about this, that how it's going to work for them. So thanks. My next question for you would be how would you describe your typical day at work at the office?
Sure. So usually my typical day, I grab my coffee. Always got to start my day with a coffee, have my plan in place, look at my emails, see what's pressing, what's urgent. And then usually I do need to throw everything out the window because something has come up. And then I need to reprioritize what needs to be done. Is it something on the internal side? Is it something on the external side? But something that communicators really need to be able to do, and it's a learned skill, is prioritizing and reprioritizing. Within a single day, you might reprioritizing your work multiple times basing on the needs of the organization, of what's happening outside, your colleagues. So it's really challenging to say that my day finishes the way how I expected it to finish. Yeah, you both are nodding and laughing.
Yeah, because I'm doing that because it's exciting, and then it's also sometimes very exhausting simultaneously. So you have to keep the balance. So yeah, and I guess you're doing it greatly. So kudos to you. Yeah. So my next question for you would be so if anyone is interested in working for a company related to science and health, but is not from that background academically, so how do you think they can brush up their skills to land up into that?
For sure. So I came with my background, I wasn't a full science kind of down that route. So I did go through the communications angle, but it's the reading. If you can just this might be something that your parents would always say, read what you can as much as you can. And even if it's high level reading, because when people start talking about things in the science world, there might be words that at least spark recognition. And those are kind of spots where you can jump off of and ask questions. In terms of getting into roles that are within the field is fine tune your communication skills, because those skills are applicable to all different industries, especially on internal communications. For example, you've got employees that you need to speak to. No matter what type of company you work for, people are people, and they want to be treated a certain way, and they want to be clearly communicated in a certain way. So those things don't change. But the pieces around the industry you can learn.
Yeah, of course. I guess learning is the key always. And the part that you mentioned about the internal and external communications, the difference between it is really important to understand that, because some people don't. And then again, of course, communication is the key. So yeah. So I would now come to my last question, and that would be, so in your journey so far, what is that one thing about communications or public relations that has never changed?
That has never changed?
Yeah, according to you. Yeah.
Something that hasn't changed is the position and the importance of communicators. While it might not be apparent to a lot of people, transparent communication is vital, no matter who your audience is. If it's internal, is it external? You want to be concise, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to be truthful in order to get messages across. And I think that's something that hasn't changed, and I don't think it's going to change, because as soon as you start meddling with those topics, there's a lot of additional factors that come into play. And I think that would decrease how you're perceived or how an organization is perceived.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So yeah, so for budding professionals, PR professionals like me, or the other students, or other, people who are just wanting to land their step in the PR, I would like to ask, like, how do you think that you just mentioned that obviously you cannot know it all, of course. Like, I sometimes feel also lost that I have to grasp this also, I have to grasp this also, but it is impossible for a human being. So how to keep up with that? So like, obviously you said PR is evolving daily at each minute, at each moment. So how to be very well versed of your of the things that you need to do in PR, actually to excel in them.
Sure. So the one thing that personally I had to get over in my career to advance in my career is to pull down some of those barriers, those walls, and identify that it's okay if you don't know, and it's okay to ask those questions. It's actually more harmful for you as an individual within your career, as well as what you're producing, if you don't come out and say, hold on a second, I don't understand exactly what you're saying. And especially in the pharmaceutical world where I work, I'll be honest, I work with a lots of smart people, really smart people. And now I do not have a problem and saying, wait a second, can we take a step back? Can you explain this to me so I can understand it? Because as a communicator, your audience, majority of the time, is the general public. And so you almost have to consider yourself as the translator. How can I get this information out so everybody understands it? So the big piece is bring those walls down, and it's okay that you don't know everything, and your colleagues will respect that.
I guess that really, bit of calms me down from inside, to be very honest with you, because, the experience and the position you have coming out from a person with so much of experience and practical and theoretical knowledge, it is really beneficial for me and for everyone out there who is, as I said, that, planning to learn with this very diverse and very fast industry. So thank you so much, Smita, for all of your answers. I guess they were really insightful, and I really appreciate your time, your knowledge and advice. And that's everything on my end.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate both of you setting this up and connecting with me to do this session.
Yeah.
On the contrary, thank you, Smita, for your guidance. And Adja, you did an excellent job. Congratulations. Are there any social media handles that Smita and Adja would like to share with our audience? Where can we find you?
Sure can. You can connect through through our company website, emdserono.com, or our YouTube page as well, which is linked to our website, or on LinkedIn. I am available as well.
Yeah, I already did send you a request. So yeah.
Perfect. And if there's questions on the industry and PR and kind of getting their foot in their door, if someone has questions specifically about pharmaceutical communications or healthcare communications, reach out. I'm happy to have a chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Smita. And what about you, Aja? Where we can find you?
So I am on LinkedIn. So definitely people can add me there. I'm on Twitter as well. And if anyone prefers some other platforms, that would be Instagram. I'm very much active there as well. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, and see you on the next Professionals and Coffee Chat. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our social media platforms, which are in the description below this video. And please join us to do your own virtual coffee chat like Aja just did today. Thank you and bye-bye.